Good morning, my angels. It's Monday the 27th of July and I thought I would do a get ready with me this morning. It's round about 7:15, usual time. It's Monday, it's shopping day, so I didn't want to do another shopping day trip, so I thought, well, what about a get ready with me, a bit of a natter, a bit of a chat about what's going to go off during this week, what I've got planned, what I'm going to do on the channel, and we'll see how it goes from there. So start off with, what should I do? I don't know what I'm going to do. Start off with I'm everything that I use, I'm going to put it in the description box below in case you like what you see. Like I said, I'm no influencer, so my makeup, it's just how I like it, how I do it. I do watch tutorials, but like I said, I'm no influencer, so I'm playing with it and I just see how I go. So let's have to start off with, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to use, I'm just going to apply it, and then I'll, as I said, link everything in the description box. So what's going off this week? I will tell you actually what I'm doing to start off with. I'm just applying some primer. I've already sorted my face, I've moisturised. So this week, what have I got planned? And if I look this way, by the way, it's because that's where my mirror is, so I'm not ignoring you. I have got, I could actually use that mirror, that'd be okay. I have got a few bits coming up. I've got to take a friend of mine to hospital. He's going to have a procedure done to where he can't drive afterwards, and so I said I'd take the person and bring them back. But I'm not going to go and video that because it's a bit personal. The hair. That's a bit personal. I am going to get my ear pierced. Well, I'm going to get 2 more. As you can see, I've got these 3. This is one stud, and then it's just because I can flip it up. Let me try and flip it. Oh, she says with confidence. There you go. I can turn it, you see. So, but what I want is 2 more, like one there and there. So I'm having them done Friday. So I did ask the lady if it was okay that Steve come with and videoed. So I'm applying now, not foundation, I apply BB cream. It's just a bit lighter for my skin and it's not as heavy as what foundation is. But anyway, yeah, so Steve's allowed to come with, as long as he's masked up, obviously with everything going off with the coronavirus at the moment. As long as he's masked up and he stays the distance that he should, then he can come with. So that'll be on, that'll, don't know what that was, something just fell over. Yeah, he's allowed to come with and video, which should be interesting. So I did want to have a chat actually about my boys. It may seem a bit controlled parent when I was talking about buying them pop and what they can and can't eat and etc. I will tell you that one of them, I have got 3, and they're 18, 20 and 22. 2 of them have decided that they don't want to be on camera, which is fine. They don't mind me talking about them, and I have asked permission to talk, and but one of them does, and when I get the right content, he'll come on the channel. But I did ask if I could talk about them because it's not straightforward with the boys. Don't stop, Dolly. I've got them on a time scale. We have to be out the house for a certain time. Because I like to, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I like to hit the shops first so that I'm not shopping all day. I can't stand that. I like to get my bits out the way in the morning, and then I've got all day then to sort out what I want to do. So anyway, back to the boys. So yeah, I sat there on the last video and I watched it back and I thought, oh, you're on the video saying they're only allowed 3 bottles of pop a week, and I'm sure that somebody's going to sit there and go, what, you're telling, because how old they are, now you're telling adults how much pop they're allowed. So just a brief background, I had my eldest when I was 18, and I had my middle one when I was 20 and my youngest at 22. And at the age of 3, my eldest was diagnosed with ADHD. He was on the autistic spectrum and just mild learning difficulties. So I was coping with that situation. He was put on medication. Hold on, I can't find my brush. Oh, here it is. I thought I'd lost my brush then. So he was put on medication at the age of 3. And then when I had my middle one, by the way, their names are Jordan, Joshua and Joseph. Not planned out like that. When I had Joshua, so that's my second, he was diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome. He was on the autistic or Asperger's register, and mild learning difficulties. And then when I had Joseph, at the age of 4, he was diagnosed again with mild learning difficulties, and he was on the autistic spectrum. So obviously they still live at home having learning difficulties. It's to cope in the big wild world. It's not very nice for them. They've struggled. We've all struggled, to be honest. It's gotten easier as they've got older on certain situations, but especially when they were younger, that really invited to birthday parties, because Jordan's ADHD was very much in your face and kids didn't like that. So yeah, so obviously I have to, as their mum, and still as their mum at home, I do quite a lot for them. That they're just not, Joshua has very massive anxiety about going into the local town, going to a supermarket. So anything that he wants, he has to have, me and Steve tend to get it for him. And Steve is not their dad either. Their dad and I separated. We were married and they separated when Joe was 3. And all I'm going to say, he's not been in contact with the boys since then. He did reach out last year or the year before. I'm getting confused. And they chose not to be in contact. I gave them that option and they chose that. So if you ever see this, it was their choice, not mine. So obviously there was periods of time where I was a single parent with 3 disabled boys, and went out to work as well. I used to be a carer or deputy manager, senior care home. So it's been hard, but it's, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to prime my eyelids, as you do. So yeah, so Steve is a step parent. But I was talking to Joe last night actually, and I said the same thing, and Joe's response was, well, he's been like a dad. So which is nice. Me and Steve have been together 4 years. So, and I was married again after my first husband. We were together 7 years. So again, the boys have had 2 step parents, even though, and he don't mind me mentioning it because I have spoken to anyone that comes on the channel, or I do mention, apart from my first husband, I have asked permission. So me and Richard, he's got a YouTube channel, and I will find his channel and his name, and I will link it in the description bar below. He is more into his gaming. He we I've known him years, and he was actually my sister's best friend, and we shouldn't have really got married. We should have stayed friends. I mean, to say that me, Steve and Richard have all been out together karaokeing, there's no hardship between us all, which is nice because you don't find that very often. Actually, in August there'll be content of me and Richard going to the solicitor's office. Yeah, because you don't go to a solicitor's office anymore, you go to a solicitor's office. So yeah, I'm going to start divorce proceeding, even though we've been separated 10 years. But I didn't realise how much a divorce in the UK actually costs. It's way expensive. So me and Richard are going halves on it, and we're just going to walk into it. Well, I have to walk in, but we're, because they can only deal with one client out of a marriage, unless Richard gets his own solicitor, which I don't see the point. I've just poked myself in the bloody eye. Ooh, that's better. So I've just placed some powder over my eye so I don't crease, because getting old, I crease on my eyelids. So actually I'll place some where I get a bit shiny. I could really do with my fan on, but I don't know if you're going to hear it. So yeah, there we go. I've had to put the fan on, so if you hear a whirring sound, it's actually my fan. It's on a low setting though, but I do need it because I'm going to get hot. For some reason my house is really warm, and yet there's no heating on, so I don't know. So what was I saying? Yeah. So, oh, coffee break, hold on. So as far as the boys, they all have individual needs, all individual situations that go off with them, and so because of that, I have to kind of monitor what goes off in their lives, just for their protection really. So other than that, if you hear me mentioning that I have to do this and I have to do that, it's because of that situation. It's just that they've not got the capacity to understand what they're dealing with at that moment in time. And especially with COVID, it's been absolutely mental because obviously of social media. They've been reading things, seeing things, and they took it to heart. And I've basically had to say, if it's not come out of my mouth, then it's not true, which is upsetting. I don't think people realise when they write all over social media that there are people with disabilities that may not understand actually what you're writing, which I think's, you know, just for an example, the army was helping the NHS deliver supplies around the UK, and my eldest come running upstairs and said, the army's gonna come to town, we're all gonna get put in jail if we don't follow. This was at the very beginning of COVID, so obviously when lockdown rules were a lot more stricter. And he said, and I was like, no, we're not. So obviously I was like, look, if I haven't said it, then it's not true. Let's have a play. So yeah. So as I said, yes, I've got a bit of content this week. I was thinking of showing my mum. She's agreed to be on my channel. I'm just putting a bit of light powder just to give my eye a bit of definition. So I might introduce my mum to the channel. She's a character in herself, you'll see. I want to do a makeup tutorial on me making up my mum, which is, I think, would be funny. So I said we've got the ear piercing going off. Also, Steve hasn't got a driving licence, and we've just applied for his provisional, and it came through a couple of weeks ago, or last week, I can't remember. And I've just booked, well, we've just booked his first lesson. So I'm not going to video his first lesson, but I will video him that more. I think it's in the morning, his first lesson. So I will video it, what he's like. No doubt it'll be a bag of nerves. I know I was when I first took my lesson. Oh my God. I was so nervous when I took my first lesson. Oh. But I think with age as well, I think when you're younger, you're a bit more cocky in driving, because you've got more confidence when you're younger. I think as you get older, you worry more. I know I definitely do. I'm definitely a worrier. I'm a big worrier, me. Thinking, go a little bit darker on the edges and then add a bit of a shimmer. And by the way, I'm just getting dressed today. Of course I'm getting dressed. Yeah, I'm gonna walk to the supermarket in my pyjamas. Oh, I'd love that. That'd be so nice. So yeah, it's a bit of a background about me and the boys. Any other questions, feel free. And said hopefully start the divorce proceedings in August. So we're looking at December, no, we're looking at February next year for that to be completed, even though I think it may be a little bit sooner, on the fact that obviously me and Richard have been separated like 10 years. And we're planning to make a day of it as well, so which will be on video. I'm going to go to the solicitors. I've got to nip to the council with him. As I said, I've got a council property. We're taking his name off the tenancy. I can't remember which colour I took. Oh, that one. And then me, Richard and Steve are going out for a bit of bite to eat. So that'll be on video, which will be nice, I think. And then next year, me and Steve are planning to get married. Well, planning, it's not a plan, it's not, well, Steve's already been married before, and that's all I'm going to say about that situation. I don't want to say anything else. It's not my business, and it's not my marriage. And so he's already divorced. By the way, if you see me doing this, it's because I've got a towel on my knee and I wipe my bushes as I go along. I do like a dry wipe so I can just blend. I might go a bit darker in that edges and then put a shimmer, and I think that's all I'm going to do. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the wedding. That's how good that is. Oh dear. Yeah, because obviously I've been married twice. Steve's been married once before. We know what we're doing. We've been together 4 years. We've lived together 4 years. Well, I think 4 years. You'll have to... I know. I know for a fact, because Steve edits my videos, and I know for a fact that Steve is going to put somewhere around this screen that, hold on, that's it, that the time that we've been together, and it's going to be like an exclamation mark, so you should know this, Dolly. So anyway, so yeah, we're planning to get married, and it's something, we're doing it how we want to do it. It is, don't get me wrong, it's a normal wedding, but it's not. So we're planning literally to go to the register office. I am going to go for a dark colour. Let me pick another brush. I'm going to go for that brush. We're going to get married at the register office. There'll be the boys there and my mum. That's it. And we're planning to get married on a Monday. And then we are going to Skegness for the week. And I don't care what people say. I love Skegness. I think it's an amazing place. Oh, I do like that. That's put me a bit of definition. Yeah, I do like that. So yeah, and that's basically what we're doing. So there'll be no parties. You know, sitting down thinking about it, you know, I sat and like, you sit there, the average, if you have a look at Google and just Google how much the average wedding cost, and you think, and then go through each one of them lists and then tick off what is actually for you and your partner. So a dress would be for you. The outfit that your groomsman would wear would be for him. But a party, a venue, is for the other people. The food, whether you have a sit-down meal, or whether you have a buffet, or whether even you just have a hog roast. A hog roast? How is it? Hog roast, even if you have a hog roast, it's for somebody else. The bar is for somebody else. And when you work out actually how much of that party is for other people's benefit, and don't get me wrong, and I'm just going to say it, for somebody else to sit there and criticise whether the music was not very good, I was going to swear then, or whether your dress wasn't right, or what colour, I reckon I'm going to go for, you know, so it's like, shouldn't your wedding be about you two? And then I thought to myself, what if you didn't spend as much as you did on your wedding? How much you could have afterwards, or even to go on holiday with, if you wanted to go to the Bahamas or Dubai or wherever. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of, it just, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather, it needs to be about the couple. And if you're into all that, then you're into all that, if that's what you like. But me personally, I'm going to add a bit of Fix Plus. I can't do my fingers, and the reason being is because I've got big nails in the way. So I'm just going to add a bit of Fix Plus to that and see if it makes it a bit more poppy. Because it's just, oh, that's better. So yeah, all this is content that's coming up, which I'm excited about. I think what I might do is just add a bit of gold on top of that. So yeah, and like I did put in my description tab, at the moment things are quite new. This is quite new for me and Steve. So obviously everything that we're doing, it's very new. Just put a bit of gold on top of there. So any other questions that you want to ask me, fire away. I'm quite an open book. Actually, I'm going to try with my finger, see if that works. I think doing my finger might be better. Let's have a go. I'm going to poke myself in the eyeball now, I can see it coming. I always find when you do your makeup, you have one good eye, and then you have really one not so good eye. And I was going to swear again, but I'm not going to. And then a bit of that one. Yeah, see, one good eye, one not so good eye. Always the case. I don't know whether to go a bit darker in that corner. Well, I like putting a bit of makeup on. Makes me feel better. I love watching the YouTube channels. Even though I must say what's going off lately with all this Jeffery and Tati business and oh my god, you think, oh, and Shane and everything else. And I get it, people get invested, people do get invested, they buy the makeup, they buy the, you know, the palettes and things like that, but, you know, these are grown-ass people at the end of the day. And it's like, you know, what, you know, with what Tati said, you know, sitting there saying that Jeffery and Shane was in her ear, and I get it, you can have someone manipulate you at any age. I saw a lot of comments of, oh, this 40-year-old woman, even though she's not 40 to start off with, but this 40-year-old woman should know what she's doing. You could be manipulated at any age. Let's just, and I'm just going to clarify, and I'm just going to say, and I'm going to put it out there, because I don't think, and I watch the drama channels as well. I watch Peter and the Tea, and I watch them all. No one has commented on the fact that there are people in care homes that get manipulated, or people in home care that get manipulated by carers. It's called abuse. It's called financial abuse. It's gaslighting. You can be manipulated at any age. Because she's 40, even again, she is not 40, doesn't mean that there is an age limit that you cannot be manipulated. There are women that have been in marriages for years, and I'm going years, that are still manipulated. To this very day, there is a woman out there in this world that is probably 50 years old in an abusive relationship being manipulated by her husband, or vice versa, I'm going to say as well, because I'm a big thing on that as well. Abuse can happen at any person, and it's wrong. But at the end of the day also, she made the video, and now that I've done this, I've made 3 videos, so I'm no expert, but I've watched Steve edit these videos. It takes some time. So for the fact that she made the video, the fact that she edited it, and the fact that then she sat there and pressed the upload button, whoever's in your ear, you've still got to take accountability for the fact that you uploaded that video. So, you know, and then with everything with Shane, to be honest, I'm a bit gobsmacked with what I've seen. And don't get me wrong, I was invested. I watched the Shane and Jeffery series. You know, my heart went out to Shane. I knew, you know, that's how you feel, as though like he'd been done over when he was talking about his merch and things like that. You know, so you get invested in watching these people. And like I said, yeah, you go out and buy the palettes and the makeup and the merch. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna do my eyebrows and then I'll be back. There we go. So that's my eyebrows done. I don't do a lot to them, to be honest. I fill them in a little bit. Getting a bit old now, so they start balding a bit. Yeah. So as I said, it's the way they act sometimes. You kind of think to yourself, like, grow up. You know, I understand people's response, and I'm not talking about the people out there. I'm talking about the three. Well, you know, James, you can kind of. James is, well, at the time he was 19, and you kind of think he's a kid. To me, I mean, I am 40. There you go. I am a 40-year-old woman, and I kind of think that's a child still. You know, for life experience, there's nothing there really. You know. So, and I kind of think to myself, you know, these are adults, and they call it, I tell you what gets me more than anything is they call it a community, and I think to myself, when I think of a community at the age of 40, I think of a community that bands together with people to make a community strong, to be there for one another. And I'm thinking, if this is the beauty community, keep me out of it, because that's not a community I'd like to be part of. It's, you know, I was watching, where was I watching? General reviews, and someone commented on her live feed, because obviously when she posts, I'm in the UK, she's in the US, so obviously I don't get to, it's very often that I'm there for the live reviews, and I know I haven't finished my eyes off yet, and I'm doing my face. Go on, doll. And someone commented that she said, you know, the very beauty community is just very evil, and I'm thinking it is, and everyone still calls it the beauty community, and I'm thinking it's not a community. And I know that there are other influencers. I know that there are smaller influencers that don't participate in the drama or the tea. I like watching a lot of them. But it's really, you call yourself a community, and that's how you act towards people. And I also think that, and I'm sorry to say, watching the little people, you know, the not so famous ones, compared to Jeffrey and Shane and James and a bit of Jacqueline Hill, you've all forgotten where you've come from. I'm sorry to say, you've all forgotten where you've come from and how you got as big as you did. Because it was people like me. I've made 3 videos. It was people like me that took my time out of my day, and Peter Munn said this, that took my time out of my day to watch your videos, so, and to buy your products. And I've got a James Charles palette, I've got a Jeffrey Morphe palette, I've got a Jeffery Star mirror, and I'm still going to use them. I like the products, but that's my coin that I went out to work for when I did 12-hour shifts as a carer, you know, to support my disabled boys, to buy myself something, to treat myself something with. And you sometimes, I'm sorry to say, you all act entitled as though you deserve to be where you are. And it's us, it's the people that watch you have put you where you are. I sat there and said to Steve, at my first video I look back on, my first video, I looked back on it the other day, and I've got 93 views. And I'm not reaching for the world's smallest violin, but I said, Steve, I don't even know 93 people. That's 93 people in the UK. I know it's UK. I've seen by my the YouTube studio that it's been in the UK, but there's been 93 people in the UK that have watched that video, and I'm going, I don't even know 93 people. Who are these people? And they've sat down and watched my video. By the way, can I just add, there's a lot of people that are watching the videos and not liking it or not subscribing. Come on, please like my videos and subscribe, because it would help me out, it would help my channel out, and I'm trying to build upon this. So anyway, yeah, I think they've forgotten where they've come from, and I've lost my little towel now. Where did I put my little, oh, hold on a minute. Here I am. So yeah, I think they've forgotten where they've come from, and it's sad really, because I think, you know, Raw Christy Beauty, she's quite big, but again, she's not forgotten who she talks to. Actually, what she's going through at the moment, I think that is sick, absolutely sick of people. That woman couldn't get pregnant for years, and I have got a video. I know what that feels like, even though I have got 3 children. Me and Steve have been through a situation, and I'm not going to talk about it at the moment, but to say that this woman tried to get pregnant for years, tried fertility treatments. Now I'm going to finish off my eyes, even though I've just bronzed my skin. Hope I don't get no fallout. And then has this miracle thing happen to her, you know, and I'm not religious, I'm sorry to say. Don't come for me. But she has this miracle thing come for her, and then she gets criticised for making her choices. You know, as long as she's following what her doctor says. Her doctor, by the way, who has a PhD, everyone that sits there and criticises this woman, when you've got a PhD behind you, then maybe sit there and offer advice. And that's another thing. When somebody sits there and offers you advice, because they don't follow it, doesn't mean they're wrong for not. Advice is something that you give somebody that they can or cannot follow. And she's saying, I don't have to follow your advice. I'd rather follow advice of a doctor. A doctor. I think some people behind these keyboards actually lose touch. But yeah, and now she's on about the fact that she's not going to post. It's sad the way she got upset on. I watched her Instagram. You know, I think it's really sad. And as she said, a miracle time, you know, a time that she never thought she'd go through in her lifetime. She'd never thought that this would happen to her. And now it's being spoiled. And the first comment, well, you're on YouTube, you put your life out there, expect it. It's like, really? That's your response? Is there no love anymore in the world? People are so heartless, I think. And every woman looks the same when she puts mascara on, by the way, I'm just going to say. I had a really good... Oh, that's nice. By the way, I don't do false eyelashes. It scares the bejeebers out of me, to be honest. And not that I've got anxiety or anything like that. And, you know, I pity those that do. But I just think to myself, all these people that are whacking on eyelashes... I kind of worry that there's going to be a generation of women in the next 20, 30 years that are going to be walking around with no eyelashes on. I was watching Rich Looks the other day on YouTube, and he was trying out the Patrick Star wet wipes that he's just brought out, and he was saying that he gets eyelash glue stuck to his eyelashes, and when he takes his false eye, because he used his wet wipe here, and then he took his eyelash off, and then was doing like underneath, and he even said that there's not a wet wipe or I don't know, some makeup remover that actually removes the eyelash glue. You know, from his eyelashes, and I'm thinking, but that, oh, I keep banging things, oh my god, that can't be good, you know, for your eyelashes. I mean, would you put glue in your hair and then wonder why your hair's falling out? That's not too bad. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Do you know, so it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of worries me of putting all this glue in your hair. I'm just gonna touch up the edges. Yeah, it just kind of panics me, all this glue, you know, and to say that, like, especially with the beauty gurus, sounded a bit Australian there, especially with the beauty gurus that, like, put it on constantly because they're doing makeup tutorials. It kind of, then you kind of think, oh, it's a lot of glue on little eyelashes as well. I'll tell you what I've got to do. I've got to put a bit on my brow. As you can tell with makeup, I don't have a specific order. Oh, that's better. Because I'll forget something. The things that, oh yeah, I like that. The routine of, when I watch some of the, watch some of the channels. God, it's sweating. And I've got mind you, I've got the fan on. I'm not even speaking. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I like that. Right, so I've done my bronzing. So I'll do a bit of my cheeks now. So I'm sure this is going to be edited down, because at the moment, I mean, by the way, I do use like not a typical blush. Oh no, look at that. If any from the UK, you'll think I look like Aunt Sally now from Where's All Gummidge. That's a programme that was in the 80s. You'll have to, if you don't know it, then you'll have to YouTube it. It's basically a programme that was in the 80s about a scarecrow that used to come to life. A bit like Toy Story. Oh, look, see? That was even in the 80s. That's before even Toy Story come out. And so, yes, this scarecrow used to have a female scarecrow called Aunt Sally. And I think they were like boyfriend and girlfriend. I think they used to like have tea together until the farmer kind of, see, you look just a little bit pink. So yeah, when I first put that on then, I looked a bit like Aunt Sally, and he had a very Yorkshire accent. My Steve does it, makes me laugh. Oh, sorry about that. Banging noise. So I'm collecting all my bits at the same time. So let's put a bit of highlighter on. I get a subscription box every month called the Glossy Box, and I'm going to do a review on it when I get it this month. I'm going to open it up in front of you all. So that's another video. Oh, like that one. And on the Glossy Box website, they were doing like video calls with people from Bare Minerals, I think it was, and they were helping you. So they were doing like skincare, they were doing a smoky eye look, and I thought, oh, how interesting. So I thought to myself, oh, I'll have a go. So I had this video call with a wonderful lady, I forgot what her name is, and I did a smoky eye look. As you can see, I don't contour my nose. I'm sorry I can't be bothered with all that contouring, and I don't powder. I powder on top of my eyelids and underneath my eyes where I crease, but I don't bake. I think if I did that, you would see every line in my face. But as I said, it's lovely being able to do that if you've got a skin of a 20-year-old, but when you're 40, you get the little lines. Look at all them, all the lines come through. So it's not something I want to show off to people. So anyway, and I did this smoky eye look with this lady, and she taught me this. She saw me, I was videoing with her, and I showed her the palette that I was working with, and she told me that when you dip your brush into your palette, so obviously I've used one of these brushes, And when you dip it in, instead of going like that into the product, you kind of roll it in, or like that, and you get, and I was like, and she says you get less fallout in your palette, and so I've been doing that. So I was like, there's a trick. I love little new tricks. So basically, oh, setting spray, don't forget your setting spray. Oh, hold on. I do like this one. I will say it is from Morphe. I think Joe said to turn it upside down. No, I know that Steve's going to be able to flip that, but it's from Morphe. So yeah, it is nice because it comes out, and I'm just gonna, it comes out like a, you see, like a, and it smells really nice as well. So I reckon I'm just gonna go for a quick nude lip, she says with confidence. No. Yeah. Just something, there I am, where I was going to look in the mirror then, look, and do it in there. There you go. Shall I put a bit of gloss on there? Put a bit of gloss on. Yes, put a bit of gloss on. Can't beat a bit of gloss. Oh yeah, that's nice. There you go. That's my makeup done for today. Something quick. I do need to wash my brushes. I'm terrible. I really am. It's just finding the time though. That needs to go in there. I'm not going to wear no eyeliner. I have a trouble with a certain eye of mine. Oh no, you don't go in there, you're going that one. I have a trouble with this eye. Sometimes I find it very hard to start off with, as you can see, to do a wing liner, because I have like this crease here. If anyone can give me a bit of advice on how to be able to do a wing liner, because of this crease I've got, as you can see here, I get like this bumpy effect. So I'd like to be able to have a go. As you can see, look, I've got this like gap here, and I've watched tons of tutorials where it's like, oh, do this, and I'm pulling my eye up, and yeah. So there's that. And also this eye for some reason leaks out of this corner, so if I have to be really careful if I put mascara on, because then it kind of clumps, and we all know we get the clumpy in the centre of the eyes, but to get a clump at the outside, so I spend half my time with a bit of wipe, or like a cotton bud or a Q-tip if you're from the UK, whichever word you like to use, and I tend to have to kind of just dab it in the corners. So this is my look. This is a bit of a rant, a bit of a what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sure there'll be lots more to come. So see you soon. Bye.